Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's video I'm going to be showing you how to fix your yellow light of death. Obviously, you've probably already watched a couple videos by now and checking out this one. In this video, I'm going to be doing the heat gun method. I prefer the oven baking method, but I do have family staying with me for Christmas, and they do not want to smell or potentially have toxic fumes in the house if you do not have good ventilation. You definitely need to be a little bit careful of the oven baking method because you will be heating up a lot of solder. Fumes will go up. If you blow it out the window or have a good ventilation, that would be much better. But again, with the heat gun, I have it right here. Garage door is open. We're looking absolutely fantastic. It won't be that much solder fumes coming up in the air. Now, to each their own, but I'm taking a little bit more of a precaution. Don't want to upset the family, so I'm going to be doing the heat gun method, but I do prefer the oven baking method. So the first thing right off the bat, what we're going to do here is that your PS3, if you haven't cleaned it already, it's going to be really filthy because just dust gets in there. And I've already cleaned it a little bit. Doesn't really look like it, but it is absolutely nasty. We're going to take this type of alcohol here, and I'm going to botch the name of it, but it's pronounced isopropyl alcohol. If you can find 99%, go ahead and grab 99%. This is 91%. This is fine, but 99 obviously would be better. I'll go ahead and link it in the description box below, just in case you don't know where to get that. We got our little Q-tips right here. What we're going to do is we're going to put some of this in the cap. Go ahead and dab it up a little bit. Don't soak it, but just go ahead and dab it up a little bit. And then what we're going to do is just clean all this nasty dust, all this nasty stuff off here. We're going to clean the board. And then what we're going to do is we need to go ahead and scrub off all of the old thermal paste. And if you do not have your thermal paste already, I recommend Arctic 5. I'll link it in the description box again below. I got a 2-pack. Turned out to be cheaper than buying just one, but if you just need one, just buy one. Again, link is in the description for your help. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll clean this stuff off and we'll get going. Just go ahead and scrub it off like this here, getting all that old thermal paste off, and then grab a clean one, go ahead and wipe it off clean until you have perfectly just beautiful silver color underneath. And that is a clean chip. That is not. Now let's go ahead and clean that one. And after you've cleaned both the chips here, you want to go ahead and clean the areas here as well, because these will go ahead and set on the new thermal paste. You don't want old thermal paste with that as well. So go ahead and clean these two as well, and then we're going to start getting to our board. Okay, now with those pads clean that are underneath the fan there, and these pads clean, what we're going to do here is we're going to take our heat gun, we're going to put it on the low setting, and what we're going to do is we're just going to tilt this up, and we're going to go ahead and just warm the board. Okay, we're not going to heat the board up to hot, we're going to warm it up, and again, we're just going to kind of go up and down until you literally can touch it and it feels warm. Right now, this board is absolutely cold, and so we don't want any thermal expansion or anything like that. You don't have to necessarily keep the board level during this process. You can go ahead and tilt it up. What I am going to do though, I am going to warm up the front, and then I'm going to also warm up the back, and so both sides are nice and warm. And then the most important thing after we do that is you want the board completely level. There are two prongs right underneath this side right here. You can set this on a box, but you want a very level playing field for when we do heat up the chips here, because what we want to do is we want to reflow it into a level surface. If it's tilted, the solder might flow one direction or another. We will be using flux as well. Again, I have that linked in the description box below, but let's go ahead and just warm this up on the low setting here. And I'll also link a heat gun so you guys know exactly where to get this. And again, just heating this up, warm it up. So it's warm to the touch, but not hot to the touch. And if you have anything that's, obviously we're not gonna heat this up too hot right now, but I will be removing my iPhone when we do, and also that alcohol plastic thing when we get really hot, but we're not gonna get like crazy hot in the areas. We're gonna focus on the hot areas right around these chips right here. But again, we're just warming this up, and I'm gonna do this to the front and the back. Be with you in a second. Now with the board nice and warm to the touch, we have our flex pin right here. This is a Kester 951 liquid soldering flux pin. I'll link in the description box below here. You do need to be careful with this though. There is a little warning label on here. You definitely want to be in a well-ventilated area, and you do not want to inhale these fumes. It can cause irritation or damage to your lungs, obviously over a long-term period of time, but just be very careful with this. Also, after you're done handling it, even the pin cap, just in case any for some odd reason is on your skin, go ahead and wash with plenty warm water and soap after you're done with the application. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be very careful here because I want to go ahead and heat these chips up first and then go upstairs, wash my hands, come back down and put on the thermal paste. So I'm going to go ahead and uncap this flux pin here. What we're going to do here is, because we have not heated up the board, it's only warm to the touch right now, we're going to go ahead and jam our flux pin in the side here, being careful, probably using this direction here and then switching over and using it here. We want to flow that flux down onto the points here. We'll also do that to these little squares here because we're going to be concentrating on heating up this, reflowing here, here, and here. So let's go ahead and get into it here. I'm going to have to put the camera up here and we'll go ahead and get a shot of this here. Now remember, this flux pin also, you need to be very careful. Make sure you're not obviously smoking or the heat gun is not on during the application of this. This is highly flammable, so be very careful with that. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to carefully lean our board up like this. We have our pin here, just being careful to jam it. If you're jamming it in the side, you want to get it in between the chip and the board there. There's a little line right there, and you want to go ahead and do that. This takes a little bit of time before it starts flowing, so you kind of have to push down on it. I can start seeing it flowing right now. I'm going to be very careful doing this, obviously, but if you guys want to, go ahead and use some gloves. I'm about a good solid 1.5 feet away from this board here, my nose, so obviously don't breathe this stuff in. We're going to go ahead and just flow it down in there, guys. Now we're going to go ahead and flip it around, flow it in this way so it kind of meets in the middle there. Fantastic. That's one. Let's do the other one now. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and get these chips here, the 4 black ones there. Okay, I turned it back around here so the 4 black chips are up there. 2 chips are right here. Again, don't touch it because the flux is wet. And so now what we're going to do here is we're going to heat up each square for about 25-30 seconds, still on low, but getting a little closer here. Heating that up nice and warm, reflow the solder. 25 seconds here. I would set a timer on your phone, but remember, we're going to push that out of the way just in case it gets a little too hot. So 25-30 seconds, 25-30 seconds, 25-30 seconds, 25-30 seconds, 25-30 seconds, 25-30 seconds each one. And then again, we're not going to bump it, push it, move it, or anything like that, because we want the solder to reflow on the exact joints. Flux is going to help that as well. Okay, I'm going to put my phone over there. Let's go ahead and do one together here. I'm going to go ahead and hit start and then add a couple seconds because I'm going to have to grab the gun. And we're still on the low setting. Okay, now with all 6 done, 2 blacks in the back, and then 1 and 2, we're going to go ahead and just let it sit. Go upstairs, we're going to wash our hands, just in case. I didn't get anything on my hands, but you never know. And again, let the garage go ahead and just open up and the flux fumes to go ahead and evaporate. And while I was doing that off camera, I actually had my shirt over my nose, and so I wasn't breathing anything in as well. And again, more ventilation, the better, folks. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and let that cool down here. That is still nice and hot to the touch, so we're going to leave that be for about, it'll probably be nice and cool in about 10 minutes or so. So we're going to go upstairs and relax a little bit. Come on back downstairs, then we're going to put our thermal paste on. Okay, it's nice and cool. Everything is ready to go. So again, we have our Arctic Silver 5. Sorry if I called it Arctic 5. That's kind of the nickname for it. Arctic Silver 5. It looks like this, if the camera can pick up that. There we go. That's what it looks like right there. So we're going to go ahead and use not too much of that. We're only going to use about a pea size on each one of these here. Again, you're just going to be putting that on this one and this one here. So we're going to put a pea size right there. This is the time where you want to grab a gift card, something like that, and go ahead and smear it in. Now, a credit card would work, an old expired one, you know, if you don't mind washing it off afterwards. I have some business cards, some old business cards here. I got about a 4 stack right there, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe it in. We're going to go this direction, up and down, smoothing it evenly all the way across here on each one. And then after that, if you want to get a little bit crazy, go ahead and order some new pads here and here, etc. for these ones here. Again, we're not going to be doing that, but we will just be doing these 2 here and here. Let's begin. Alrighty, and again, we're just going to go ahead and stick it right in the middle. And again, a nice little pea size. That's it. That's good right there. That is about the size of a green pea. You can go ahead and wipe off the remainder right there. Put your cap back on, then we'll start spreading. It doesn't take much of all. I just ordered 2 because I do work on other projects. So 1 is going to be more than enough for you guys here. So what we're going to do here, again, we're just going to wipe it to the right, and then we're going to go ahead and just kind of go up and down and all around with it here, spreading it on nice and evenly all over, going back and forth. And if we need to use a little bit more than this, then we'll use a little bit more than this. But this should be fine as long as we spread it out nice and evenly. You don't want too much and you don't want too little either. So let's go ahead and spread that out a little bit more. Be right back. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I actually added a very slight bit more than that, very, very little, over here in the left corner, and then just dabbed it in evenly, and it looks great. Now let's go ahead and do this one. Okay, next one is complete. We're looking absolutely fantastic there, guys. Now, after you're done with that, this is an extra step. I'm not going to personally do it. Some people do it. Some people actually put the thermal paste on this side as well, exactly how we did it here and here. You would be pretty much doubling it up. So that step is, I personally think, an unnecessary step. Some people love that step to go ahead and double it up, but again, we're not going to let it cure. We don't have to let Arctic Silver 5 cure. We're literally going to just put it all back together, and it actually does better. You just fire your machine right up, and the warmth of it, from what I understand, I'm not a scientific expert, but it will go ahead and do its thing in the first couple days of running your machine. But anyway, from what I understand, people have got back to me. They're like, Chris, no need time to cure. Put it all back together. Fire it up right away. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it back together. We're going to show you the fixed light of death after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth has come. We do have a red light, but of course we had that previously as well. I'm right here with you folks in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green, blue. Blue is good. Blue is not yellow. My friends, what do we have? And it fires up. That is what I'm talking about. Congratulations for fixing your own PS3 fat, baby. That is what I'm talking about. Yes! Another one in the books, my friends. Another successful mission. Go ahead and fire it up. Boot up your PS3 controller and go ahead and push OK. And the reason why this even says this is because I did start it just a second ago, but my touch wasn't as sensitive. I had to push down pretty hard. So I took it back apart, just the top, and I pushed up my springs a little bit more so that the touch is now a lot more sensitive, as we can see there. And we even have a disc in there. And if you're wondering, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolutely fantastic thing. And real quickly here, I just wanted to insert in this as well. This is it fully functional. After I plugged in a controller, that works great. Touch sensitivity works absolutely fantastic. It's been about 30, 40 minutes. No issues. We're having a great time. Now, we have our PlayStation up and running again. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and please subscribe for so many more videos that you will be mind blown. Check out the channel. I got fixes for everything. Subscribe, and also look in the description box below. I'm going to have everything, all the tools I used linked up there, the alcohol, the wrenches, the thermal paste, you name it. I'm going to have it down below. Thank you so much. Thumbs it up if it did help you. Spread the love. You guys have a good new year. Take care. Bye-bye. 'Cause you can't